Welcome back to Best Behaviour, an initiative brought to you by a coalition of B Corp companies and ESG Clarity to discuss better governance. I'm Natalie Kenway, Global Head of ESG Insights at ESG Clarity, and in the next few videos we'll be showcasing the organisations in the coalition, the work they do to ensure tighter and deeper corporate governance frameworks and industry collaboration. So today I'm chatting with Barry Horner, CEO at Paradigm Norton. Thanks so much for your time, Barry.
You're very welcome. Nice to be with you.
So can you talk a bit about why your business chose to change its articles of association?
Yeah, I think with the climate emergency that we're experiencing at the moment, I guess most people think it's down to us, almost an individual or a governmental responsibility, but actually business has a key role to play in helping sort out this climate emergency. 99% of businesses in the UK are SMEs, and wouldn't it be fantastic if more and more businesses embraced the way of working in terms of B Corp that led to a real focus on how each business essentially addresses that key issue. So I think business has a massive role to play here, and we wanted to play our part in that.
And were there some initial pushbacks to this new way of organising things, and how did you overcome them?
Maybe not pushbacks. I think generally as a board, there was broad agreement, but there were definitely lots of questions. And the sort of questions that we had to deal with were, what's the process involved in getting to B Corp accreditation? Were we doing it just because it was an accreditation, or was there a genuine belief that we could fundamentally change the business? And I think through the process, we realized that there was a huge level of buy-in engagement, and it wasn't just for the badge. It actually meant that we could run a better business. So, I mean, through the journey, there were probably some people who are more skeptical at the start. And I think for a financial planning business like ours, it's what could we genuinely do that was more than electric cars and solar panels on the roof. And actually going through the accreditation, everything has changed in the business. And we were on that journey thinking of the 5 pillars. Our governance has changed. Our responsibility to the planet we're much more focused on that. And now every board meeting, for example, we sort of, at the end of the meeting, we think, have we delivered on our sort of B Corp mandate? So it was more questions and concerns than any pushback. There wasn't any board directors who said, no, we don't want to do that. It's a big step. We're not comfortable in doing it. It was more, let's just tease out what's involved in the process.
Fantastic. That's really good to hear. Can you provide us with a couple of examples of why this change you made 3 years ago has had a positive impact on your business and perhaps sets you apart from the peers?
Yeah, so I guess for us, going back to what I just mentioned, as a financial planning business, it's what can you most impact? I think as a business, we have 4 core values. One of them is people matter, and you might say, well, everybody would say that, but we have a real focus on people. When people join the firm, they don't tend to move on. So we felt across a number of areas that we'd scored quite well. We were the whole business and everything we do is focused on clients, workers. So I guess for us, the environmental planet piece was the one that we really need to focus on. And the biggest impact we could make, we believe, was actually encouraging all our clients to invest sustainably. So as a financial planning business, we look after about 1.4 billion of client funds. And I get one of my colleagues commented, do we want to increasingly make the wealthier more wealthy, but destroy the planet in the meantime? And that was like, wow, that's a big thing to have to focus on. So we've moved all our portfolios, or gradually, certainly for a new client, they now invest wholly in a sustainable portfolio, which interestingly has actually outperformed the previous portfolio. So for us, that's been a really massive change, where you see millions, if not billions, of money flowing into sustainable funds. So that's been probably the biggest change. In terms of the communication piece, I think a lot of our team, we have 95 in the firm, I think we were very much focused on the planet bit, because that was part of the business that we probably didn't focus on before becoming a B Corp. But actually, in doing that, a number of people didn't realize there's 5 pillars to being a B Corp. So I think probably the other one is in 2019, we became employee owned. So for us, that was a fundamental review of governance, key part of being a B Corp. We've got a completely different structure now to how we were structured before. We've got an independent group of trustees, and we've just instigated a whole load more governance as a result of going through the process of looking at the questions, looking at what we're being questioned on, which I think are fantastic questions, but we couldn't answer all of them. So we now have a risk committee, we now have a remuneration committee. So I think, yeah, those would be absolutely the two big wins for us. It's progressively moving more and more of our client funds into sustainable portfolios. And secondly, a much more rigor around our governance, which again, just has put us in a much stronger place.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing all of that with us. Great to chat with you, Barry.
Pleasure.